everybody, welcome back to SinglyLoving. I'm Kate, and this channel is to encourage foster parents, those who want to become foster parents. Maybe you know somebody who's a foster parent and you just want to learn how to encourage them and help them along their journey. Welcome. If you're new, so glad you clicked on this video. I have tons of videos about different foster care topics and my journey as a foster parent. Today, I am so excited to announce that May is Foster Care Awareness Month. So basically what that is getting to share with you what foster care is all about, answering a ton of the most common questions, giving people understanding of a foster parent's journey. We really, as foster parents, want to encourage other people to get involved with foster care. And that's not only becoming a foster parent. For some people, that is what it is. You might feel that nudge during this month to take that next step into becoming a foster parent. But maybe this will encourage you to love and understand those foster parents in your life even better. So what's really been cool for me is joining along with many other foster parents during this month on a foster care awareness challenge over on Instagram. So my Instagram, I'll put it right here somewhere. And you can go follow me there. I've been, so far, really good with posting every single day over on Instagram with a daily prompt. I'm getting a lot of those from Mandacarpenter. She's amazing in the advocacy world. There's many people. I'll try to leave some of the people's accounts down below in the description box, so go and check that out. But then also follow me on Instagram and look up some of the hashtags like Foster Care Challenge 2020, Foster Care Awareness Month, things like that, and you'll find amazing foster parents all over the internet. So what I'm going to do here on my channel for the next several weeks is answer some of those questions that really stand out to me. Some of the questions that I feel like I have some particular answers that I can contribute to the conversation. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if these videos will end up being long or short. Hopefully they leave a really great impact in this space, especially for those considering single foster parenting. I want to try to speak to that specifically, even though there are a lot of things that I feel in the same ways as other foster parents who are married or doing this with someone. But I want to speak in the space of single foster parenting because I think that's a voice that we don't often hear on platforms like YouTube or Instagram here in the social media space. So let me get into some of the questions that I want to talk to you about today. These are going to come from the last, we're on day 7, so these are going to come from the past 7 days of prompts, and I'm going to expand on them a little bit more than I did on my Instagram page. Okay, so just to start out, I'm going to introduce myself and talk about my involvement currently with foster care. So like I said, I'm Kate. I'm a single foster parent. I've been doing this single the entire time. I started in 2017 with getting licensed, thinking I would just do some respite care and be a resource to my friends who are foster parents. Little did I know I would feel the call to go full on in and foster. So by the end of 2017, I was licensed and got my first placement at the end of the year. I have since fostered 9 kiddos in all. 2 of them were respite for about a week at a time. And all the rest of those were boys, so I'm like a total boy mom. I've had lots of little boys in my home. I've had everything from newborn from the hospital. The oldest I did respite care for was 7. And I'm licensed 0 to 10. And I've mostly had the little kids, little boys. So it's been a lot of fun. The current placement that I have is 2 twin boys. They're amazing, and we're doing awesome here in quarantine, to be honest. We are just thriving with getting to bond and do things as a family and just like build some really great rhythms and routines. It's been awesome. So yeah, that's me. Let's see if I missed anything. Oh, a lot of people ask if I own my home. I do own my home. I have owned my home this whole time, but you don't have to own your home to foster. You can rent. You just have to have a safe home and extra beds. I have moved in this process, and I made a video about that. And then for work, I'm a full-time missionary. I'm at a local missions organization that's just down the street from where I live is our headquarters, and I work in that building. So it is a little bit unusual. Not many people have that particular job set up, but I know many single foster parents that have a variety of different jobs and make this work. So that's just my situation. It's worked really well for me. And maybe you can look into what some other people are doing if you are curious if you could do this as a single foster parent. So let me get into some of the other prompts. That was day one. Let me get into some of the ones that were like my favorites in this past week and tell you specifically about them. So I want to dismantle this common misconception about foster care is that you can't do it when you're single. But you can. You certainly can. It is hard, and in some ways harder than doing it in a two-parent home. But some ways it's easier than doing it in a two-parent home. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've talked about this at different times. There are aspects of doing this single that I'm so thankful for. Like the fact that there's not another person at the end of those really hard days to need to give another 100%, to find more in me to give to. I can give everything to these kiddos right now. There are other things that I haven't necessarily needed to deal with, but as a single woman, sometimes that situation, not having a man in the home, can be really ideal for placements. In other ways, there's a lot of paperwork, and 2 adults means twice as much paperwork. Excuse me. So there are certainly things that make it easier as a single foster parent. I'm not saying that like single is more ideal than having a partner, but I also don't think having a partner is necessarily more ideal for every situation than being single. So yes, you can do this single. It does take a lot of work. It's really hard, and that's why I would encourage any foster parent, but especially if you're single, to know who your tribe is, to know who those people are that you can call on at any moment, who will step up for you and understand the unique situation that you're in. What you don't want as a single foster parent is those people around you saying, see, this is why you shouldn't have done it. See, you can't handle it. You need people who are cheering for you, who understand that this calling is hard, but you can do it, and not everybody can, and you're stepping up and not everybody will. So get those people around you, and I think you can really thrive. You and your kiddos can thrive. By the way, sorry if you're hearing like pretend drills in the background. They are just like, they just like to push the button and hold it and make lots of noise. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about was what it's like getting a new kiddo. And I'm gonna start from that moment you see that number on the screen and your heart leaps because you are pretty sure that's CPS, but you're not sure. You answer it and they say, hello, this is blah, 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 county calling about a child. Would you like to hear more? That's literally how it happens. And you say yes. And what happens for me is my heart just starts beating so hard. And I'm like, okay, calm the emotions, and you are just trying to like keep it together mentally. Okay, so they tell you everything about this child. You try to make an informed decision. And then they tell you, okay, somebody will be calling you, letting you know when they will show up. So my different placements have been different. Some have told me this might be a few weeks because they're transitioning. Others have said they'll probably be there tonight or this morning or whatever it is. So then you're like frantically trying to get everything together. And the whole time I'm like running on adrenaline. And I would say that's the biggest thing, the most memorable thing about every placement has been running on adrenaline for that entire first day. And then that first week, and then the month, and then as like the case unfolds, like possibly for a long time. There's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of changes going on, especially from going from single and unattached to having a child in your home. There's so much to adjust to. And so there's a lot of just getting by day, and having to just push through a lot of the hard and taking in all the information about this case. And it's this mixture of heartbreak and sorrow and joy and fun and beautiful, and it's like all emotions all at once. And honestly, it's a lot to take in. I think that's God's blessing and just letting us run on adrenaline, is that there's a lot to take in about that time. And if we try to take it in all at once, I don't think our bodies could handle it. Another reason why you need a tribe, you need those people that you can talk things through, talk things out those first days, weeks, and months. of a new placement as you're learning a new child. And then I'll talk specifically about just having that kiddo that first day. It is all about making them comfortable, helping them feel safe. Honestly, I'll speak for myself, but I think a lot of people might feel a lot like a babysitter that first day. I know that I do. Every time I've gotten a placement, it's more like being a babysitter. You're just trying to get them to laugh and feel comfortable and meet their needs and give them what they want, and trying to learn how they communicate and what makes them laugh, and how they can be comforted when they cry. And then that first night is rough. It's hard to figure out with an infant how that's really affecting them that first night, but with any older child, like toddler and up, that first night is hard. I've had to rock kids to sleep as they're screaming and crying. With my current placement, it was literally months of sleeping on their floor to get them to sleep at all, let alone to not be screaming through the night. So that first night is hard, but you can get through it. And I think what helped me this last time through was just the mindset of being long-term. I'm not trying to get them to stay in the room. I'm not trying to get them to not cry right now. I'm trying to get them to feel safe. And over the weeks and months, we've gotten to a place where they sleep completely normally. And that happened probably about 4 months in. It started to be kind of they had normal sleeping patterns. So just be ready for the first night to be a mix of emotions and to probably not get a lot of sleep. But that's okay. That's what we need. That's what they need to heal and to feel safe. The last prompt that I want to answer is actually the prompt for today, May 8th, the day that this is going live. And that is, what's it like to build a relationship with the biological family? And I've had a myriad of experiences. There are cases where I never got to meet any biological family. There's cases where I did through visitation. There's cases where I met some extended family, but not the direct family members, like the parents. And each case has been very different. First, I'll talk about just when you meet the actual parents. So my experience has been really beautiful as a single foster mom, meeting this other single mom who was like a little sister age to me, and just getting to sit with her and talk to her and lament and be sad about what's going on and just kind of try to relate, even though it was nothing I'd ever been through, but we both loved the same little boy, and I wanted to champion her getting to know him and loving him and bonding with him. And I just really, I could sense in me the sadness that was the fact that another person, another woman, knew her baby better than her. And I will just mention a few of the things that I did to try to help foster that relationship. One is that I always talked to her during visits and asked how she was doing, and asked about things she told me that were going on in her life. And then I also, at almost every single visit, or every week, I guess she had 2 visits a week, so every week I brought her all of the photos of her son from the previous week. And I did not include pictures of me and him, just pictures of him. And then another thing I did, her birthday, it's actually coming up. Her birthday was right around Mother's Day. I gave her a Mother's Day present with her son's footprint and a little plant. And I told her happy birthday, and I just remembered her birthday and tried to make it special for her. There's other things that I did through conversations with her that really tried to help. But I always gave her the benefit of the doubt if she wasn't there one week. It didn't change how I spoke to her or how I treated her. I really tried to keep fighting for her as long as it was clear that that's what was in the best interest of her son. every case is different. So that's where I'll just end it there. But I think that even doing those things, even though she may or may not be involved with her son's life currently, I think it cannot be understated the value of those pictures and that investment into her life for that time. So that was me getting to interact with a biological parent. And then I have had the most amazing conversations and relationships with some of the extended family members who have ended up with the kiddos from my home. Gosh, I think there was this sense of relief when they met me and got to talk to me, and some of them I still talk to, about their kids and about who I was and why I foster. There was just a sense of relief, like, oh, our grandson, our nephew, whoever, they're in safe hands, and they're gonna be okay until they're in our home. It's gonna be okay, because that is such a hard time of them waiting, knowing that this baby is not where they're ultimately going to be. So yeah, just in general, I think just to be relatable and available, and to let the biological family know as much as they need to about who you are and why you're fostering and how much you love their child, and when it's appropriate to exchange phone numbers, when it's appropriate, maybe an email, or getting to write letters or something like that. And then with each of my children, I have also sent them to their family with photo books and all the pictures I could find of them, for those photo books and just for memories of that time with me, whether it was very short or very long. So yeah, it's been so far for me like very sweet to have relationships with bio parents. And then I think another aspect of this is there was a situation where I had a foster kiddo for a short time, and then he went back to his previous foster home. And even that, like, just to remember that that's not biological family, but that was the family that he was with since he was born. Like, you can't understate how much that family needed to know who I was and that their child was safe, and I sent him back with pictures too. So those are the things that I've done to help foster that relationship with biological family. It's been really, really great so far. I think I'm kind of stepping into new territory with the current placement that I have and how I'm going to engage well with biological family. Right now, what I can do to just honor them best is to speak well of them around other people, to give them the benefit of the doubt, to treat them as humans who may have made a really, really bad mistake or two or whatever, but that are still humans and are still worthy of being loved in the way that they're spoken about, because even though their choices may not be what I would do, they still are doing the best that they can do with the resources and the relationships that they have. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm sure this video is plenty long. I'm going to be making more videos like this in the coming weeks to celebrate this Foster Care Awareness Month, so be sure to come back, and I'm going to be answering more of the prompts. There are 31 prompts. 31 prompts. These are great. They are going to bring up so many unique and really fun things to share about my journey, about foster care, and hopefully they'll answer a lot of questions that people might have. So come on back next Saturday. I post Saturday at 10 a.m. as long as I can stay on that schedule. And then Instagram. I'm trying to do every day on my stories. So please go follow me there, SinglyLoving, over on Instagram. See you soon. Bye.